welcome all. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today, of course, is the US presidential elections, it's Melbourne Cup Day, and it's also the inaugural event of the Women on Boards UK Boardroom Conversation. So very big welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us here at Thomson Reuters. I'm Kimberly Cole, I'm the Global Head of Marketing Operations for Thomson Reuters. And so on behalf of Thomson Reuters, I'm very pleased to welcome you all here today. Welcome to our own staff, welcome to all of our guests, and also this is part of our Diversity and Inclusion Week called The Power of Us. So this is just one of a series of events that we're running this week for staff around diversity and inclusion. So thank you all for joining us. Welcome to everyone else who's come from the Wharf and elsewhere to join us. And welcome to Fiona and Ruth. And of course I think we have we have Rowena Ironside and we have Rachel Tranter also from Women on Board. So I hope you all have a chance to meet them. And of course, a big welcome to Baroness Sue Campbell, who's going to talk to us today. We are very pleased at Thomson Reuters to be foundation sponsors of Women on Boards. And as part of that sponsorship, we'll be holding several events like this throughout the year. So I hope you enjoy today enough to come along to several of the other events that will run throughout the year. And make sure you keep your eye out for those. And I'd also make sure that you register on the Women on Boards UK website and become a member of Women on Board. So especially, of course, to our own staff, if you don't remember anything else I say, please leave the room and go and register. And make sure you tell at least 3 other people to also register. So that's my key message, actually. I've been a member of Women on Boards for many years because I actually joined the organisation in Australia where it began. Hence, I was just reminiscing with Ruth about a previous event we'd done in the Reuters Sydney office for International Women's Day. So I was very pleased when I heard that Women on Boards was expanding to the UK. Very action-oriented organisation, and they really obviously heavily focused on getting more women on boards, but I would also emphasise that they really focused on developing the pipeline of women to obviously lead into board positions, but also to exec positions. So I urge you to get involved. One key measure of their success that I think is sort of testament to the impact that they've had is that since 2006, they've had more than 1,000 women appointed to boards in Australia. So let's hope we can see the same impetus and pace of change here. So make sure you sign up. As I said, you get to see a range of different board vacancies as they're available, everything from statutory authorities, not-for-profits, listed companies, and I'm sure after today, lots of sporting governing bodies as well. So in finishing, I'm just going to leave you with a few stats and a bit of information because we are at Thomson Reuters and the world's largest supplier of intelligent information. So we'd like to give you a bit of knowledge to act. You may have seen yesterday that McKinsey produced another of their instalment in their gender agenda reports. The headlines, I think, remain pretty much the same, that things are improving, but quite slowly in many cases, and that the female participation at board level and executive level still remain quite low. So there's definitely a lot more that can be done in that space. Women still hold only 15% of the seats on corporate boards and 14% of those in executive committees in the United States. In European countries, the board participation has increased over the last 5 years, but the executive levels remain very low. So, for example, in Germany, you've got 16% on boards and only 3% in executive level positions, respectively 20% and 8% in France. And of course, in Scandinavian countries where they have more quotas, the percentages are higher. So Norway's representation is currently at 35% and 15%, Sweden at 25% and 21%. So today, as I said, we'll hear about sporting governing bodies and the challenges and opportunities there. So without further delay, I introduce Fiona Hathorn to introduce our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. We're absolutely delighted that Thomson Reuters have chosen to sponsor Women on Boards. We have a number of sponsors, and I will move on to that in a minute. My name's Fiona Hathorn, for those that haven't met me. My background is asset management. If anybody had asked me about the glass ceiling, I wouldn't have understood. I didn't have any particular issues. It wasn't until the Lord Davies report, and I read the research, and I read McKinsey's reports, Catalyst reports. I think the numbers speak for themselves. And if you then talk to, I was lucky, I worked for a company called Hill Samuel. I had a fantastic chief executive, a fantastic chairman, who, when I had children, were very, very supportive. I never worried about what anybody thought of me when I rushed home at 4 o'clock. If there was a particular issue with my children and I wanted to be at a school event. And I thank John Ainsworth enormously for that. It made an enormous difference to me. So I think cultures in companies have to change, and that will happen over time. But let's just have a look at our other sponsors and talk about Women on Boards a little bit. We have 4 sponsors in the UK. We have Thomson Reuters, as you know, Price Waterhouse, Standard Bank, and also the law firm Bowen Leighton & Paisner. It is because of companies like this that we can put on events that are affordable, open, and access for all. And we want to get women from every age to think about their career development programme and make boards part of that journey. There are lots and lots of boards out there, I'm sure you're aware. A lot of people, because of the media, will only think about FTSE boards. There are community boards, there are government boards, sporting boards we're going to talk about today. All of them, depending on your level of experience, can be part of your journey should you wish to. And Women on Boards is all about talking about those and inspiring women to think about positions and events. Women on Boards, as you probably know, is coming out of Australia. Kimberly's mentioned that already. We're very much a strong community. In Australia, we have 16,000 women that are part of that community and have signed up to our website, which, as Kimberly mentioned, sign up. It is free to sign up and be part of that community. As a result of being part of that community, we do several things. We run workshops. Workshops last for about 3 hours in length, and they're designed to get women to think about how they present themselves for board roles. A lot of the board roles that we advertise on our website do not use headhunters. Therefore, you have to write your own CV in a third person, written in a way that the chairman of the board can easily understand exactly what it is that you will do for that board. It's not the same as a career CV, and it's one of the things we work on very, very hard within our workshops to get that point across. The other thing that we do, apart from running workshops, and we run workshops for corporates, and we run public workshops for individual women who sign up for themselves, we run events. This event, as you know, Kimberly mentioned, is called a Boardroom Conversation. And we've chosen for our first event to talk about sports boards. But we intend, across the UK, not just London, to be running events on all types of boards. Charity boards, we'll run an event on NHS boards, and one in particular that I would like to do with the help of Aberdeen Asset Management, who are providing us with free venues over the next 12 months, is to look at investment trust boards. So I hope you will join us in those events as well. But crucially, we advertise board positions on our website. I know you can't read this, but there are 33 vacancies, non-executive, we don't advertise executive positions, that you can apply for today. I'll just give you a little idea of what is on our website if you haven't seen them. The Natural History Museum is looking for non-executive directors. The Law Society in Scotland would like a non-executive director. The review body for remuneration for doctors and dentists would like somebody to join their board. The Gambling Association. We have several NHS trusts who are looking for positions. So that is one of the services that we provide. And we're doing this because we're trying to help women who are often time short and haven't had the networking opportunities, maybe because of their child rearing years. There's many issues. And we're really just trying to make it easy for them to, one, think about board vacancies, but find vacancies. We spend a lot of time, we're talking to the Cabinet Office and the public chairs. In fact, we have a meeting with them later to talk about opening up opportunities for women. So we will find them, but we also rely on our members. 3 of the positions that we have on our website today came from women emailing us and telling us. The Almedia Theatre, I'm not sure I mentioned that one. One of our members just emailed us and said, had we seen that they were looking for somebody? That information's on their website. But if you don't know, then you're not necessarily surfing the Almedia website every day, wondering if they're looking for a non-executive position. So we're very much a group that's a community support group, and we all help each other in our journeys to the boardroom. But before I introduce to you our speakers today, I have to start with the Olympics. Really, that is why we decided to ask Baroness Sue Campbell to come here today to talk about sports boards. I am sure I don't need to tell you that women won 39% of the medals at the Olympics. They won 38% of the gold medals, 47% of the silver, and 32% of the bronze medals. And it is thanks to UK Sport, that is chaired by Baroness Sue Campbell, that invests over £100 million in supporting elite athletes, that we have won so many medals. And a lot of the people that Sue and her team chose to support were women. And it's fantastic to have those role models in society. But I'm not sure whether you are aware, one of the other things that we do, I'm sure you've all heard of Cranfield and the fantastic research that they do on the footsie. And we will not replicate that, we don't need to replicate that, but we hold that information on our website, and it's called our Boardroom Diversity Index. But we're going to be looking at all the board types out there, and we have this on our website. Again, I'm not expecting you to read this, but these are the national governing sporting bodies. There are over 150 of them in the UK, and that's really the top of the tree. And these sporting bodies receive lottery funding, and they receive funding from the Treasury. Now, we've chosen to look on our website at 48 of them, and the top 48, and I think we've chosen the ones that are Olympic sports. And if you look at the numbers, there's 470 directors' positions on those 48 bodies alone. And remember, there's 150 of those, and there's boards below that as well. Women represent only 21% of the positions on those boards. There are 7 out of the 48 that have no women on them at all, and that was as of the research that we undertook in March of this year. British Cycling was one of them. And I think you will remember that during the Olympics, women did very, very well in the British cycling. And I think it's probably about time, if they receive public money, and all these boards are receiving public money, that women are at the table, given they represent a large proportion of the population. And that is what I know that Baroness Sue Campbell would like to see happen. So without further ado, can I introduce to you Baroness Sue Campbell, and she's going to talk to you about how national governing boards operate. I think I'm right in saying that UK Sport is a royal charter that happened in 1997, but I won't take her stage now. I would just like to introduce you to Baroness Sue Campbell. Thank you very much for coming here today.
Good morning, everybody. I caught the 5:30 milk train to be here this morning, so I'm feeling very perky right now. I should probably be dead by lunchtime. Just really quickly to say, I'm delighted to be here. I'm not going to talk for long. Probably just as important to answer the questions that you came with. I've been chair of UK Sport for nearly 10 years. I have to confess that prior to being the chair of UK Sport, I'd never been on a board. So to say I learnt by trial and error would be an understatement. More error than anything else, I think, initially. But one of the things I would say, and reinforce what Fiona said, is whatever else your professional development experience gives you, being on a board does give you something different. And I think if you are looking to develop yourself as a professional, that experience is invaluable.